Foobar Fest 2019, June 29th, DBA 256 in Pomona, California, with Siamese.
Like to speak on how we live.
Hope.
Walking through his neighborhood looking for someone to prove.
Anonymous.
Yeah, high too, while you're zoning out of orbit.
Burners. Average Joe and the Benchwarmers. Rundown Creeps. The Fallen Electric.
Listen, here's the story, look what's missing.
From Zero to Hero. And Wolves Inside. Free entry 21 and over. Go to FoobarShow.com. From Filthy Martini Studios in Ontario, California, it's the Foobar Show!
Hey, what's up, everyone? I am Josie.
I'm Josh.
And Foos. Thank you all very much for listening to the Foobar Show. Thank you for downloading the pod of both major podcast apps, subscribing, and telling a friend like a champ. You can always reach us at Foobar Show. That's FTheBelowBarShow.com. And FTheBelowBar Show is our handle on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram. Check us out. Drop us a line, and we'll fill it up like a couple of foos. Ain't that right, foos?
Seafood.
Yes. On tap today, we have very special guests. We've talked about them plenty of freaking times on this podcast before.
And they're finally here.
got them. Finally got them. We cornered them. 22 salute, everyone. Say hi, fellas.
Hey, what's up?
Thanks for being on.
I'm here.
Unbeknownst to you guys, I've talked about you quite a bit. And the reason for that is because you guys were a stepping stone in my path to find my way into the Fallen Electric. And we'll talk about that a little bit further on in the episode. But I wanted to quickly have you guys introduce yourselves. What do you guys play? What's your name? All that good stuff. We'll start with you.
I'm Mike Schoen, and I am the singer, lead singer, and guitarist, bassist, and pianist.
I'm Mark Schoen. I play guitar, bass, and I do backup vocals.
No relation.
Brothers.
We just shared this. We got lucky, found another guy with the last show.
Oh, I knew it. Cool. I knew it.
Sure, Mom.
No. Small population in Iowa. You can find other people.
Yeah, we switch instruments on stage, so that's why he.
Those shows are a dime a dozen.
Got you.
You can find them all across the city.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Jay.
What's up, Jay?
What's going on, Jay?
Drums.
I could have
about
guessed.
it.
I could have guessed.
I got the high toms, low toms, snare drum.
Okay.
I play all that shit.
Wow,
All right.
you're multifaceted.
Oh yeah. I use both my hands.
Oh,
Right on, man.
impressive.
Well, I wanted to start off by talking about you guys, where you guys started from. You're not necessarily here from California, though that's kind of where your presence has been known for the last few...
5 years.
5 years,
Actually,
yeah.
on the 23rd, May 23rd was 5 years.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
damn.
I know, we've been here a little while now.
So last Thursday was 5 years to the date. So.
Right on, man. So tell us about that. You guys are coming from out of state. Just tell us about the whole origin story. We'll love to hear the origin story.
Like how just the band, like what we started out, like the year.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
you guys
you-
being brothers, you obviously, are able to collaborate on a regular basis.
Once in a
I'm
while,
sure, right?
Were you
Yeah.
bitten by a radioactive
Yeah. We all
spider?
well, obviously grew up liking a lot of the same stuff, and I mean, initially it all started out. Mike had a band in high school, and I was
Back in Iowa.
Yeah, back in Iowa.
We're from Iowa.
And this is back in 2006. Mike's still in high school, and I saw his band play. And after I saw them play their first show, I was just like, me personally, I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to start playing music. And I'd already started learning guitar beforehand, and I picked it back up and started practicing more and getting more into it and paying attention to music more and listening to music more. And a few years ahead, or actually, no, 2007, we started a band called The League.
Well,
and then a Melody.
the high school band was called The League. And,
Right.
I came up with that name and brought it to the guys, and they were like, sure. It was mainly me spearheading that name, and then we went to a band name when we got together in 2007 as brothers. We were like, let's do a band together. And we were called A Melody, like one word, A Melody.
Okay.
It's kind of weird. At the time, we thought it was kind of cool, but now looking back, it's like, yeah.
You guys thought you were so esoteric.
Yeah, and then a melody. It's like using the word melody, but put it in one word. Yeah, it's pretty cheesy. Basically, we went back. We were like, okay, that name's kind of that's not working. So I went back to the old name in high school in the league. I'm sure the guys weren't happy about that, but I was like, yeah, I really like that name. I don't want it to go to waste, so let's use the league. And that's a pretty common name. So we eventually ended up changing it to 22 Salute after, realizing that it's not really something that you're going to, it's not original enough, the league. There's so many things called the league. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Super unoriginal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd liked it at the time.
generic.
Yeah. So
Have you ever seen the TV show The League? It's hilarious.
I've heard all about it from my uncle.
That's a fantasy
But I've
football.
never-
The fantasy football show. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Its first few
We
seasons
play-
were gold.
We play fantasy football, so our uncles.
I'm sure I'd love it
introduced
now.
us to that show.
Now
yeah,
enjoy it.
I need to watch it a little bit.
Oh yeah, if you guys love fantasy football, I highly recommend this show.
well,
'cause
see,
You'll get all the insight.
when I heard
Everything.
when I heard all about it, I didn't know we didn't play fantasy football. Now that we've played for 5 years,
Oh, okay.
because of our uncle, he just made us do it, and we love doing it. Then I'm like, okay, maybe the league show would probably be something we really
Yes,
like.
yeah,
So-
you guys
See,
definitely. like
Joe
that.
C, that's all we got to do in ours. Make you do it.
Yeah, you
We
have
have-
to make me do it.
We brought him last year, and he just observed.
Oh, dude, it's fun, dude. It's fun, and the trash talk's the best when you're online. Trash
well, I can
talk.
do that without the fantasy.
I know,
football, which I do.
No, but
It's actually our sports podcast. Anyway, continue.
no, yeah, we were called the league, and then eventually we were like, we got to come up with a more original name, and eventually, Mike brought it up first. We were brainstorming names, and then Mike was like, "What about the 22 Salute?" And I was like, "Oh," and we agreed on it. And I was like, "Yeah."
Well, at first we were writing down. We were like in our in Fort Dodge, Iowa. We had a little apartment, and in the kitchen we had a little notepad. We were writing down all the different words that sound cool because we weren't really looking for a name that was like meant something. To be honest, I think we were looking for something that just sounded sick and it was going to work.
It just had a good ring to it.
Yeah, so people was like, "Oh, what does 22 Salute mean?" And some people are like, "Is that the military 22 people veterans kill themselves a day?" They say average. That's kind of the number they use. And with all respect, it's like, no, that's not what it means. But if people want, anyone can say what they want it to mean. But
Interpret it how you
interpret, yeah. But it really
initially it's mainly just for
it was just sounded
wanting a
cool,
name
man.
that stands
Yeah,
out.
I think we started with the word salute. We wrote a bunch of words down, and then this what looks cool, what sounds cool. Salute came up, and they were like, okay,
You got it from the jumble, didn't you?
How'd you know?
Not to be confused with 21 Pilots either.
We get that too much.
Really?
Annoying.
Yeah, some people asked us that where they're like, "Oh, did you get it from 21 Pilots?" We're like, "No, because we came up with it before they were even before they blew up."
Yeah, I
before
didn't even know who
we
they
knew
were.
about it.
But people were like, "Oh, so you guys are like 21 Pilot fans?" I'm like, "No."
Someone actually
no offense to them. No offense to them. We're not really.
Someone
I'm
actually-
not a huge fan, but
Oh,
we didn't copy them. No.
well, someone actually posted a thing. We were like, we didn't copy them, and then they put something showing their origins, 21 Pilots origin.
Okay.
And it was like, because we came up with 22 Salute in 2010, the name,
Yeah.
late 2010, and 21 Pilots originated in 2009. But no one knew. No, in 2010,
They
no
weren't
one knew.
big yet.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
I didn't even know who
They were
were
still writing a few songs.
Yeah.
I don't think
So
they
for
became
the
relevant
rec-
until 12, I think, or something.
Huh?
I said I don't think they became relevant till like 2013. maybe?
Yeah, about then,
Maybe something
13,
like that.
14,
Yeah.
almost early 14.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for the record, yeah, we didn't get our name from
So we had salute, and then we were like, okay, maybe a number, and then we came. I don't remember all the things we came up with, but eventually we got to 22, and it rolled off the tongue. 22 salute. We're like, that's kind of sick. And then we tried different ways of spelling it, and then it worked out perfect because we got the 20 word, and then the number 2 in the middle, and the salute word on the end, and it's symmetrical. The 20 has the same amount as salute, and it works just perfect. We're like, dude, that's it. So yeah, and that's kind of what. And people always ask, what does that mean? It's like nothing
It's not
really.
it's not really a big in-depth meaning to it. Yeah.
Nope.
It's like falling electric. What the fuck does that mean?
fuck does that mean?
It sounds cool. It doesn't matter.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want it.
Move along, sir.
Right. So I wanted to talk about, you guys have gone through an array of drummers. You got Jay now.
Yep.
But Jay's, how did you guys find Jay? Or how did they
Well,
find you,
we
Jay?
went to findadrummer.com.
Missed encounters.
Also, the front page.
Missed connections.
Missed connections.
Yeah, they sent it to the wrong guy.
Oh, I thought you were the other Jay from Anaheim.
Wasn't it a band mix?
Band
It
mix.
was band mix.
Yeah, we found him.
I was gonna cancel.
We got
that.
lucky, dude. He was about to cancel.
I was gonna
Really?
cancel. So I was looking for bands to play for like about a year or two, just because after high school I was just like I want to play in a band because I've been in drumline throughout all of middle school and high school.
Oh, yeah.
So afterwards, I started out the band mix, and I tried out for like 2 other bands. One was okay, the other one I didn't get accepted. And so I was
Did
like,
they send you like a rejection letter or something?
no, the guy. It was pretty much what happened is that
don't call us, we'll call you.
Let him finish.
I mean, he didn't.
It's not you, it's me.
Pretty much, like that guy's band like fell apart, so he was trying to rebuild it.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And I wasn't the cut for it.
Right.
But it was okay because I showed up in the audition with like no sticks. I forgot my sticks at home.
So what happened? How'd you do it? Or you just didn't audition at all?
Well,
How does that work out?
Pretty much you got to go to the front desk or whoever runs the building and be like, hey, we need sticks.
Oh, gotcha.
They gave me some of their like throwaway sticks.
No, man, you should have been eccentric and been like, this is an air drum solo only, no sticks.
Just
That would've been more
imagine it.
impressive.
Take it or leave it.
But funny thing is that, so I was moving when they messaged me. So I was moving from like Montebello all the way to Riverside. And so my drum set was in a storage unit at the time. And I told Mike and Mark, I was like, well, mainly Mike because he messaged me. And I was like, I could learn your songs, but I don't have a drum set. They're like, oh, it's okay. We have a drum set for you to play on. So pretty much they gave me Answer Me and Wild West to learn. And I just air drummed that shit. Just I was like moving or whatever. I blast that shit and being like, how the hell can we get here? I'm just like, yeah. I was like, I know. I'm just like fuck yeah. It's just freaking good. But really like comment with these guys is that they had music videos. They had like a following and everything. Yeah. So they were really like going up there. And there's a lot of bands that I was looking at. I was like, you know what, they're okay, but they don't have much or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
And so after a while, I was just like, I might just like quit out on like being a band or whatever. Maybe next year or whatever. I don't know, but these guys messaged me like
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
That's great.
Yeah. And actually, what's funny? We kind of gave up on Bandmix. I mean, I know it sounds funny. It's like a dating site almost. It's bandmix.com. It is.
This is like a romance movie.
It is. And
we were gonna give up on each other.
We gave up on love. I was about to throw in the towel. No, it's kidding.
But then Jay came along.
No, seriously. I mean, I was for some reason I was like, you know what? I was like, let's just go check on there again. I'm like, okay, and it's like, oh, what's this guy? You didn't have you just had the generic photo on there. It wasn't your photo, but you had the name, and I was like, it was like ironic J Nut or something like that.
It's my username for like games and shit, like
okay.
PC, Xbox, PS4.
Were you concerned it may have been a catfish on Bandmix?
Yeah, I was like,
catfish a musician.
Don't worry about it.
It can happen.
Well, they use it's like the default picture on Facebook. It's just an icon.
Oh yeah.
His was like, I think it was like just the drum. And
the drum.
like
it was like the generic drum picture.
Okay.
You're like, you have no clue what this guy looks like.
So yeah, so we messaged back and forth, and me and Mark were actually sitting at the Tilted Kill, and I got a video from him. He's like, check this out, and I was watching on YouTube. I'm like, dude, this guy might work. And actually, overall, and he came to the audition with never playing the song live. I mean, playing on a real drum kit, and he like did really well. And we were like, dude, he hasn't even played this yet, and he did really well. Like,
that's really good.
It was really cool.
I remember him saying like, he would just like play like hitting his thighs with his hands and just practicing drumming, and just imagining where he would go to play the song. Yeah, he didn't have he hadn't practiced at all on a real drum set.
We knew once he did as well. I mean, he wasn't perfect, but once he did as well as he did without ever touching it wasn't. But you did. It's all right. It was almost though. And we were like, dude, this guy, he had it nailed. He had it locked in pretty well without ever playing it on drums. I'm like, okay,
for not having a drum set, it was very very good because we were kind of nervous at first, like when we were first auditioning, because anytime someone auditions, like obviously they're not going to know your stuff as much. And you feel like, oh, we got to go over this and that in the song and reteach stuff. And he actually knew a lot of stuff on the songs. That
detailed stuff too.
Yeah, we thought we were gonna have to teach him this.
He listened really intently.
We're really surprised.
Really intently to the songs. I'm like, man, that's real. It was impressive. I think anyone would have been impressed.
You were like,
well, it already comes with the discipline from being in the drum line too,
honestly,
right?
Yeah,
right.
That's what it is. It was just a lot of discipline from drumline, having to learn a new piece every year, and then. I was also in indoor and concert drumline, so you have to learn 2 pieces within a year.
Oh, damn.
And concert drumline's more, technical in a sense. So you have to learn really learn it completely. If you don't learn it completely, it's not going to sound right. It's not going to sound like what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then bringing that and then learning, 22 Salute music songs. Mm-hmm. It was really easy just to be like, okay, this is a quarter note, and then he hits like a 16 note and whatever. It's all the little technicalities.
Yeah, for sure. The little ghost notes and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope that you're able to use your past experiences to help propel you. You're kind of a wunderkind of a drummer.
Yeah, how'd you find your drummer? Rhetorical, I know.
Well, speaking of drummers, and one of the reasons why I've brought you guys up on this podcast before quite a bit is because we've shared drummers, and not shared, but like we have. God, what's the word I'm
circle.
looking
You guys
for?
are Eskimo brothers.
Eskimo brothers. When it comes to drummers, yes. So you guys, when I met you guys, it was give or take maybe around 4 years ago. First time I ever played a show on the same lineup with you guys
that's
was
right.
at the Chain Reaction in Anaheim.
Yep.
You had Travis as a drummer back then, and I was in another band called The Hotline. And then so The Hotline and 22 Salute apparently got to talking, and we played more shows after that. Got to know Travis quite a bit. Travis migrated over to another band by then, which is now known as The Fallen Electric. Our drummer at the time from The Hotline, David, migrated over to you guys.
Yeah, it's crazy, actually, if you think about it.
and then you guys had some work with him, and then you guys got a couple of the drummers, and now you're with
Yeah,
with
Jay.
Jay.
Dude, like that-
David was, or Devo. Devo was before Jay, right before Jay, and then
That phrase, it's a small world, man. It's true.
It is.
It's crazy how you end up running across the same people that other people you know or you've come across. It's so weird how that happens.
Wait,
Yeah.
was it Chain Reaction you saw them at, or wasn't it this other place that was like didn't serve alcohol
the Rush Bar.
too?
Rush
No,
Bar.
we played the Rush
Yeah.
Bar. That was after.
No,
Chain Reaction.
the Chain Reaction is the place that doesn't serve alcohol.
Yeah.
So you
Oh,
are
that's
thinking
it.
of that place. Yeah, it is the Chain
Okay.
Reaction. And in
Yeah.
fact, I believe you might have.
Yeah, I
been
was
there.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
were
was
there.
there.
So yeah,
Really?
and-
Oh,
Cool.
Yeah, I was there.
After I saw your guys' set, I was thoroughly impressed. I'm like, these guys have chops. You know, let's try to play with them as much as possible. You know, we were really like loving you guys. I still do. And it's just been fun times ever since. But man, how just like you said, it's a small freaking world.
It is.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
And do you remember the Rancho show at Goodfellas? Remember that one? It was
Yeah,
that
that's
was
right.
that was a fun night.
yeah, that was a
dude.
fun night.
I love
That was fun.
I hardly remember any of it.
That was one of my.
So you know it
that's
was
one of
fun.
my favorite shows in California today. Was that
that
show
one?
at Goodfellas?
That was a
in
fun one,
Rancho.
man. I gotta admit, that was a good night.
yeah.
Beer was a flowing
That
for
was
sure,
good.
at least through me.
It always is with you, man. It always is.
Yeah, man. So what's in the works now? You guys are putting out a single, or already did, right?
Yep. The new single is called "The Lucky Ones." It sounds super cheery, but if you listen to it, it's very pretty dark in a sense, but
little
it's
bit, yeah.
heavy. But
Kind of sounds
but-
morbid when you hear the song, but there's more to it.
Yeah, it's our latest song. It came out. What's today? Thursday. It
Thursday
came
the
out
30th. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been 6 days since it's been
Okay.
out. And it's had great reviews from people. Actually, a lot of people saying it's our best one, and I agree. And everyone always has a favorite song of ours, but this one, to me, I think is my favorite recording. It was recorded by Brad Berry. I love it. I love this song. Personally, it's my favorite that we've recorded. And I think, the response is great, and it's kind of morbid song. You listen to it, but it's very in depth, and I don't want to say the exact meanings of it. And I want everyone to take their own
There's
take
a
on it.
few ways you can interpret the song, which I mean, I can probably identify 3 different things to kind of attach it to, but however way you look at it, it's a great song regardless.
Yeah.
Every song that you guys have put out has, in my opinion, topped the previous one. So right
thank
now,
you.
this is my favorite one by 22
Yeah.
Salute. So
Wait till the
I'm
next
really
one.
excited.
Wait till the next one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
I'm
All
serious. I think every time we write, we're like, okay, that was a cool song, but the next one's gonna be better. I'm serious.
The
That's
next
just,
one's gonna be pretty
Yeah, we're
cool.
always,
I like the next
anytime
one.
we're writing, we always want to. We're not like, we don't ever settle and say like, okay, well, this song we got this far with it, and we'll just, who cares? Maybe it'll just be a filler song in our set.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
no.
we never want it to be that. We always want to try our best, and if something's not going right in the song, we're not going to say like, the song's finished. We're done writing it, and we're just going to leave it as it is. If we're not happy with the part, we're going to do it until we're like, okay, this is how it's going to be.
yeah.
And we're
We
gonna set it at
we
that.
consciously make a point to make every song, not just once in a while, but every single song we write, we want that to be the best song we've written. Every single one. And it's something that I think has kind of worked out. I'm not saying every song we will write in the future will be better than the next, but that's the goal.
Yeah. Now, I noticed that you guys have just been putting out singles, and that's an approach that the Fallen Electric has taken lately. Is that more or less what you guys are going to be doing moving forward? Is there an EP that we should be expecting coming out once you group up an amount of songs, or is the single thing working out for you?
I mean, we could group them up. I mean, eventually in the future, but right now we like putting singles out because it's always like relevant, and it's like. When you put a whole album out, certain songs might get ignored.
Lost in the mix.
And when you put out singles...
Especially in today's digital age.
Yeah, right. And you get more attention to that song.
Everyone has like attention deficit disorder, ADD. So everyone's like they don't. It's hard for people to want an album. I mean, pop music. How often do you think they buy albums? To be honest with you, it's singles.
It's very rare.
That's what I'm saying.
You really have to enjoy like the artist,
and I love albums.
Yeah.
I like if I like an artist, like I want to hear the whole album. But unfortunately, I don't say unfortunately, but not everyone is like that. Most people aren't anymore.
The market has shifted for
sure.
Yeah.
So I think singles, in our eyes, is the best route at the moment because it's like an event. Every song is an event, an artwork, a feeling, a time period. So right now, singles is the route for now.
Yeah,
so
I think that's great.
We definitely live in a playlist society because that's pretty much what everyone does nowadays. Is just get singles and just make a playlist. You know, that instead of listening to the same.
It's
thing
been going on ever since cassettes.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, you give your main squeeze a playlist.
But I mean, actually, like. 40s, 50s, like early recordings, like that's kind of how it was too. People don't realize, like
singles.
I mean, that was the thing, So
I feel like too, like having like singles being like the thing too or becoming like the thing is, or maybe it's just a thing right now. Is that it also kind of helps put pressure? It kind of, I guess you could say. Brings incentive for you to when you're like, okay, we're coming out with a new single, like you're putting everything into that, versus like when you're like, we're gonna write an album, okay, this song, like I said earlier, is a filler, kind of a filler song, but this one's gonna be a hit. Instead of doing that, all your songs are starting to matter, which that's how it should be.
And you get a better quality out of your product for sure.
And I think people say when you put it out as a single, they're like, okay, they're really putting all their effort into this song, so I gotta check it out. If it's an album and there's all kinds of songs, you know, sometimes people are like, oh, you know, they might have phoned in some of them. They might have, you know, and some of the, some of the songs get lost in the mix. That's the sad part. And I hate the fact of knowing I wrote a great song and no one's ever going to get into it because they didn't.
And it'll take longer too, I would think, you know, to do an album if you want to have that type of, the quality you guys.
You got to withhold the first song that you recorded. You got to put it on standby until the rest of the thing is done and comes out.
That's tough.
And I'm sure we'll make a record one day. And I'm just right now, it's the single thing is working.
It's working out for everyone, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, shit, man. What kind of shows should we be looking forward to? Keeping in mind that this episode releases on June 5th, what should we look out for?
Sick. As far as our live shows, we right now all of our right now, right here, right now. all of our focus, not all of our focus, but right now the big one in our site is the Iowa show actually in July. We have a huge show. We haven't played there in 5 years. So when we come back,
homecoming.
Everyone's gonna. I mean,
we go back.
Our last show there was our leaving show, and it was the place that we're gonna play at again was packed, absolutely packed. So this is our coming back show. I mean, we haven't like blown up worldwide, but we've gotten bigger, and I think it's going to be a really huge show. So we actually got to do ticket sales for this one because we don't want it. We don't want it to go
past capacity.
So, but other than that one, we have a few shows like local shows on the back burner, not back burner, but on the fence right now that haven't come through yet, fallen. Into actually being scheduled yet, but we're working on that. But that's the main one in line right now, the Iowa show. And
but
it's
also, it's that, and then balancing like in between now and like when we go visit back in Iowa and play out there. It's like it's really like with ticket sales and stuff. Sometimes like when you do a show and you're like, oh, you did all these sales, and then you're like, okay, you don't want to. It's like you just made a lot of money doing that, and now it's like and all these people went to see you, but then it's like a week later you're gonna be like, hey, come out to this show. It's tough to get people to come out right away again and do that. It's not like back in the day where everyone was always going out to see shows because there wasn't as much technology. Now there is, where people can sit at home and watch concerts on their phone.
Facebook Live.
Facebook Live.
Seriously.
I think regardless, there's a good and a bad side. Depending on how you want to view it. But But yeah, I mean, what a time to be alive. I mean, when you have access to all of this music, it's kind of a good problem to have.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a good problem. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Nothing
Most
beats
definitely.
actually going to the shows, though.
Absolutely.
Music
Right.
there. Yeah, go for the experience, people. Don't just sit at home.
It's what
and watch
I mean.
it.
It's like hockey. It's nothing like actually being at a hockey game.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't translate the same when you're watching it on TV.
Yeah, I'm not falling asleep at the game like I am on the couch at home.
Yeah, I'm punching out a hooligan and then serving him a beer 2 minutes later.
Absolutely.
Well, shit. Thanks for being on the show, guys. We'll play your songs towards the tail end of the episode. But for right now, we're going to do something that's near and dear to the Foo Bar shows. We're going to start geeking out. So what do you say?
Yes, do it.
All right.
Well, Foosy,
Yeah, man.
you actually went to go see John Wick 3 this past weekend,
I did,
didn't you?
man. It was freaking amazing.
Explain.
If anybody out there likes guns, you're gonna love this movie. and for somebody who likes guns, my God, this movie is everything that you can ask for. The violence is top notch. Choreography. Halle Berry's in it. She made a little cameo.
How is she in it?
She's awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, she's freaking awesome, and her scenes are amazing. And it's just one of those things where I can't really talk too much about it. Otherwise, it'll bring up some major plot points in the movie.
Okay.
But from front to back, dude, I'll tell you like the synopsis of the movie for those
That's
who
fine,
aren't
yeah.
really too familiar with it. So it starts immediately after part 2 ends. So essentially, we're still probably within the same month of what part 1 was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They were pretty close together.
He went back to his burned down house, and then the guy attacked him right away.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So we're talking like it's very close together
Yeah.
from part 1. So like time really hasn't
It
elapsed
might have
by
been
then.
days, probably, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Because in this one, he's on the run, right? Because everyone's after him now.
he's excommunicated.
That's right.
Excommunicado is what they call it throughout the movie, and
Is it?
where nobody can like help him. Every assassin out there has a bounty out of $14 million. Later in the movie, it jumps up to $15 million.
Yeah.
You know, so every assassin in the world, no matter where he is, and like people just kind of like sitting in corners, like looking like a bum, would stand up and just start chasing him because they recognize who he is. So like
shit.
anybody in New York City can be an assassin. And he's just trying to dodge all of this bullshit just kind of being tossed at him. And at a certain point, you know, he figures out how he can get out of a sticky situation. And that's the beauty of John Wick. You know, he's able to think on his feet. Now, keeping in mind, it's Keanu Reeves. So when he's not fighting, he kind of sounds a little bit like a nerd. But when he starts to strap up and then he's doing his thing, dude. It's so satisfying.
Well, that's the beauty of Keanu Reeves. Like the guy looks like a gentle soul, and all of a sudden he could kick your ass 5 times
You
before
gotta
you
watch
hit the
out
ground.
for those guys.
Yeah,
It's funny because he is into kung fu, mixed martial arts.
Oh yeah,
right?
he's a black belt. He's a black belt in I think it's Taekwondo, Kung Fu. I believe it's Aikido. One of those other disciplines, and he's an expert marksman. Like if you guys have seen his training,
The target training
the
videos,
target training. Oh my god, the guy hits everything. He doesn't miss. I just saw one where he was training for John Wick 3, and he literally like Halle Berry was behind him and just had the timer. It was like go. He just like all of a sudden you just see like targets in the distance. He just sprays them with one quick swoop. And just pulls out his sidearm, boom, 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 hits every target like one shot.
Now, for each movie, did he go back and train like for every time?
Oh yeah, he constantly trained.
Well, he had to figure.
Oh, I thought you meant like
they had
part
to
of
put
the
together
movie.
the choreography for
No.
everything. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
martial arts that goes into it, a lot of marksmanship, a lot of cool
You
shit
gotta
like
stay
that.
fresh on that stuff.
One of
Yeah.
the highlights, and this is no surprise because it's been on the previews, that they have this amazing fight scene on motorcycles.
Oh,
It's
I've seen the
ridiculous
in the trailer.
It's so ridiculous,
Spoiler.
and it's so great. Shut up.
Man, now
Now I don't want to see it.
Fuck it.
You told the whole show, the whole movie.
Well, if you're in for a good time, this was $13 really well spent. I gotta say, like, you will not regret watching this movie. In fact, I enjoyed it better than Endgame.
Yeah,
I'll say right now.
it kicked
And it's-
Avengers off the first
And it's
weekend.
yeah,
it
exactly.
debuted.
It's doing really well in the box office, a lot better than Endgame. So I mean, it's really got something to it. I think that Keanu found his home with this franchise.
Oh yeah, they're
They're talking of doing it for the rest of his life.
Well, did you also hear? Speaking of Keanu, that they're thinking about doing another Matrix movie.
Really?
The Wachowski brothers are thinking about bringing The Matrix back with Keanu Reeves. So this guy,
Jesus Christ, dude.
he was an action star in the making. I mean,
Yeah.
have you guys ever seen Speed?
Yeah.
Like that is
Yes.
an underrated
That's
ass
a great movie. That's a
Underrated
great
ass movie.
Yeah.
He was great.
Let's
in
not
that
talk
too.
about Speed 2, though.
Oh no!
The reason he did it,
The boat one?
yeah, the
Yeah.
reason he
Cruise
didn't
control.
the reason he didn't do it is because it was so cheesy of an idea. It's like fuck for real.
Yeah,
a
he
boat?
he read the script.
He read
and
the
he's just
script
like,
and he quit.
nah.
But the fact that it's called Cruise Control, you already know it's cheesy. You don't even have to
Yeah.
read it.
Right.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Did he
Electric Boogaloo.
They should have Tom Cruise
Yeah,
in it.
Electric Boogaloo.
What about
I would have believed it with Tom
one
Cruise.
Keanu Reeves movie I haven't seen though is Bill and Ted, the 80s
I haven't
one.
seen it
You
either.
haven't seen either of them?
And they're
No, I
they're
haven't seen
epic because it's just it's one of those like stoner without being stoner
One of
movies.
the best stoner movies. Dude, I was like 9 years old and I loved
But
those
it's about a
movies.
couple of guys who get into some misadventures while trying to start a band. I mean,
About it.
why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's essentially what it's about.
Yeah.
And they want to make another sequel. They want to make a part 3, and it's happening. So
Dang.
that's going to be interesting.
You know what movie I
All
haven't
these
seen
years.
of his is Point Break with
Oh, I haven't
seen it either.
Patrick Swayze, and I heard it's like a
Dude,
pretty goddamn good.
That's crazy movie,
dude
dude.
movie.
Yeah, he gets pulled in with these guys that are just like they're skydivers and they're like extreme stuff, you know, skydiving, and they're like they're surfers too.
But they're like bank robbers, right? Or
Right,
something?
right. And he gets pulled in with them, and he's actually a cop though.
Uh-huh.
So he's kind of like I guess you could say kind of undercover.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
But
gotcha.
he and then he falls for what is it? The girl that's with their entourage too.
Uh-huh.
There's like a girl that's with that group of guys
Okay.
or something like that. Or I forget how she's associated with them, but then he gets entailed though with them, befriends them, and then he's all of a sudden real good friends with the lead guy in that group of the bank robbers.
Stockholm
and
syndrome.
So, yeah, so now
Yeah.
it's like it's hard for
Crazy.
him to turn on him because they've kind of become like buddies.
Yeah.
So it's really good though.
Yeah, I know there's a famous scene that I don't know if you guys have seen Hot Fuzz. They allude to one of the scenes where Keanu's about to gun down Patrick Swayze's character, and he can't do it, so he just raises his gun in the air and he goes ah, and he just shoots off all the bullets. So like they make fun of that scene in that movie.
Yeah, and Josh, speaking of The Matrix, you brought that up a little bit earlier.
Uh-huh.
They actually make a quick reference to The Matrix, kind of like a wink to, to people watching the movie. Or in The Matrix, in one of the movies, he's just like, what do you need? Guns.
Oh yeah,
A lot of guns.
Yeah, they do that in
And
the trailer.
And they do that in John Wick, too.
Yeah, I saw it in the preview. I was
yeah.
like, that sounds familiar.
That
Yeah,
sounds extremely
yeah.
familiar. And yeah, that's, they borrowed it. It's kind of a wink to the Matrix series,
yeah.
too.
Wasn't Lawrence Fishburne in the movie?
Oh, yeah.
He's in the movie again too.
Oh, yeah, and he's a badass.
'Cause he was introduced in part 2.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And guys, if you guys haven't seen any of these John Wick movies, watch them. Like John Wick,
I've meant to.
Mark,
I've-
it's
It's a great time. So
time.
watch it in the movie too, because all the graphics and all the choreography from front to back, my God, like you really get your money's worth watching this freaking movie.
It's gotten
I've been
above
one-
90 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Now,
And
do you need to see
What?
is it better to watch the first two?
It helps, but if you're just if you're going in there because you want to watch the choreography and the fight scenes and the guns and the explosions, you're fine.
By
You'll be
no
fine.
means watching the first 2, it's not a waste of time.
It's not a waste
Okay.
of time.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Like, especially number 2. There's a fight scene with
Oh my
him,
God.
with
We
him
keep
and
talking
Common.
about it, but it's amazing.
It's amazing with him and Common. I don't know if you know who Common is, the rapper. He's actually in the scene. He's actually an assassin in the movie, and like it shows them going through like a train terminal, like shooting at each other discreetly
From
like,
their
no one-
pockets
from
with
their
the silencer
pockets.
and walking
People
through
are walking
through
everywhere.
crowd unnoticeable.
and they're just missing everybody, but
Yeah.
trying to hit each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow,
dude,
that's crazy.
Dude, it's fucking good.
It's done really well. I highly recommend it.
It's done really well. At the same time, it kind of it's just like, all right, come on, but you can't help but not watch. It's
Just go on.
that
Yeah,
exciting. and
Just
that
go on
cool.
YouTube. I mean, shit.
Yeah, you'll get that scene.
You'll
on
get that
YouTube.
scene on YouTube
Yeah.
for sure.
John Wick comments, type that in. You'll get a freaking great scene.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies, Foos,
Yeah.
news on the Warner Brothers front. Robert Pattinson has not been announced yet.
Yeah, it's not official. It's,
Batman?
And they're actually screening him and Nicholas Holtz.
yes,
Holtz?
Nicholas Hoult from he plays Beast in the X-Men series.
right.
Oh, right.
In the
Yeah,
current
yeah,
X-Men
yeah.
series. And I'm actually I'm fine with either because I do like Nicholas Hoult as an actor. He's been very impressive.
And he has a
for me.
decent chin.
He does.
Who?
He has a righteous chin.
Nicholas
Both
Hoult?
of them, really. You don't think so?
You
You
don't
gotta
think
have
so?
a chin to be Batman.
You do.
All right.
I think Robert Pattinson beats him in the chin
Yeah, I
department.
think
In the
you
chin
know what? I'll
department?
give that to you.
Yeah.
I mean, a
That's
Batman has to have a solid chin, and we discussed this a few episodes ago. We ranked the
Batman all-time
chins.
Batman chins.
And
No way.
now we can go over this because Josh, you weren't with us at that time
I
either.
was not.
He was absent from the show that day, and the way we ranked them, number one was Mr. Ben Affleck. He has a righteous chin.
Yeah.
Yes, he has a
Not
strong
one of the best
jaw.
Batman.
We're not ranking
grading
them by Batman,
only
just
chins.
their chins. As they, with the
Clooney?
cowl on.
Clooney was number 2.
Dude, Clooney's so bad.
Well,
As
Clooney
far as
has a
Batman.
monster jaw. Like Clooney and Affleck have like the jawline that perfectly fits that cowl.
Imagine if Leno was in there.
Oh, dude, best Batman ever.
He'd take number one.
No, where's the Joker? Riddle me this, eh? Hey, Riddler?
It's crazy. I can't find him anywhere.
I can't find him anyway. I looked everywhere.
That's pretty good.
And then we said Christian Bale, if I'm not mistaken.
No. I think number 3 was Adam West.
Adam West and Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer was number 4.
What? You picked Val Kilmer. I would have put Val Kilmer last.
Really?
Yes. Only because, look, this is my justification for it. Because
Shin talk.
with the cowl, you should not be able to make out any. Dude, I fucking can tell that was Val Kilmer.
That was Val Kilmer?
Yeah, like that jawline was not that strong.
Who had the worst? Sorry.
Well, no, I think Val Kilmer's was the worst.
I can't remember exactly.
I think Keaton's before him.
I think Keaton was the worst, but probably the best Batman, though.
Yeah, exactly.
best
Exactly.
Batman.
Yes.
Best Bat. Yeah.
But worst chin, unfortunately.
Do you think that Clooney would be a better Batman than Robert Pattinson?
Okay,
No.
look. Hold on.
Clooney?
Don't get it twisted. Clooney is the worst
Ever.
Batman
Yeah,
ever.
I'm just
He
making it
had
clear.
the worst script. Now, was he the worst Batman?
I mean, you got Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He was.
there.
He was.
Okay.
They
He
even
was.
quoted him saying, "Yeah, that movie wasn't too
No,
great."
yeah.
He
something
knows. He knows he did. Like I think he went to
You know
San
what you
Diego
did,
Comic Con
Clooney.
once, and he went and he apologized to everyone at the con. He's like, "I'm sorry for Batman. Like, it wasn't my fault."
But the Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liners make that movie. To me,
Everyone,
yeah.
chill.
Or, what killed the dinosaurs? The ice. Age.
So good.
That was
Damn
great.
it, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Man.
Anyways,
Cool
getting
party.
Getting back to the Pattinson and Holt. It's going to come down, they said, to who wears the suit better.
So who has the best looking chin, perhaps?
That's what. So if we take a vote now, we can check later. I vote Pattinson.
I think
But you're-
Pattinson will win out on the.
Isn't
on the, chin
the guy who plays Beast though? Isn't he shorter?
No, he's tall.
No, he's a tall-
he's a tall
he's a tall
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
looks
okay.
short, though. I can see where you're
Kinda,
coming
yeah.
from
Yeah,
with
no,
that. It might just be his nerdy look that,
Yeah,
that he puts
maybe.
on for the X-Men.
He's about 6'1",
Actually,
6'2".
no, he's like 5'10".
Are you
He's
sure?
not
I'll
too,
double
he's not too
check.
tall.
Well, Michael Keaton, he wasn't that tall either, but
That's true.
and he
No,
played-
no, but they make. I mean, movie magic, man. Dude,
Right,
John
right.
Wayne was only 5'6", and they made the dude look like 6'2".
Really?
Tom Cruise
Oh, yeah.
is made to look really tall. in
Tom
his
Cruise
movies.
is 5'4".
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
funny story about John Wayne. They purposely made those sets like smaller to make him visually seem bigger.
Wow.
Dude, I always thought he was like 6'1" or something. Or
Looks-
6'2".
looks intimidating as fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
They at the time they did that because the taller men are more imposing. So Nicholas Hoult is actually 6'3".
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
intimidating
So
Batman.
perfect size for Batman. And if he's already kind of bulked up for Beast. I know he not super bulked up. I mean, if he bulks up a little more for Batman,
Yeah.
he probably could do it. But yeah, no, Robert Pattinson probably will win in the battle of chins.
But speaking of bulking up, though, I don't think a young Batman should be so bulky anyway.
And
I
they
think
should be more lean.
lean,
'Cause
a
he's
lot more
first getting
athletic.
into it.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and that's what this movie's going to be, right?
Oh,
Yes.
This
Like-
movie's
like
gonna
early
be a young
stages of Batman?
Yeah, it's supposed to kind
Oh.
of it's supposed to take place in the 90s, and it's supposed to show him in his early years as more of a detective style.
Oh, that's cool.
It's going to be more of like a noir themed Batman.
Right, they're going to delve more.
Do you
into
think
his
this is
detective
intertwined with the new Joker coming out? Because
I hope so.
It seems like the new Joker is like more like not action, more drama. And is it, you think this Batman might
More
be the
psychological.
Same?
I think
hope-
it's to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
roots of what DC is. DC as a comic book company, it's
Psych-
very psychological
opposed
driven.
to action.
As opposed
Straight
to
up
in
action.
your face. Here you
Like
go,
Marvel. Yeah. Oh, And that's-
I hope they
yeah.
do something at the end of this movie where they
Put it-
somehow
that'd be sick.
put it in there
because they have to do something. I feel like DC is like they have some good movies, but they're so patchy. It's like what's going on in my mind. So if they could just start over with the Joker and this Batman, I think that would be the best move.
And the Joker comes out before this Batman, so
yeah.
they
We'll
could
get a chance to
conceivably
see
do
if
it.
it's received
Well,
well.
I
Yeah.
heard too. Actually, it's funny. Yesterday, I was actually looking at because sometimes I do this. I'll look at trailers for movies coming up, and there it's like the comic ones came up on my YouTube, and I was like, I saw the Joker. They showed the Joker, and I'm like, oh, I've seen the trailer, but they're talking about it, and they're like, oh, well, this is supposed to take place in the 80s. And now if the Batman's supposed to be in the 90s,
Yeah.
Batman's actually younger in the 80s.
It's funny,
He's a
if you
kid.
pay attention to the trailer, he puts a little smile on the kid's face, and that's supposed to be Bruce Wayne, is what people say.
Yeah, it's supposed. If you look in
As a
in
little
the-
kid.
there's a part in the
Jay
trailer
says,
where
yeah.
he's like.
I think that'd be. I mean, I see that. I see them doing that possibly, but I hope they don't because I think it'd be kind of tacky.
Well, in the
'Cause they're like
trailer-
bringing the characters
Yeah.
together right away because he's not supposed to really know him until later.
Well,
on.
no. Here's the kick though, because if you really think about it, in the comics, the Joker does not have a legit origin story.
Right.
If you allude back to the Killing Joke at the very end, he even says he's like, sometimes I think back as I was a failed comedian. But then I like to think that I was a bank robber, and then I would like to think this. He's like, I love to think of my life as multiple choice. It can be anything I want it to be. So that's exactly how the Joker. You have to think of the Joker as he's multiple choice. Anything. His back origin story can be anything.
crazy.
That
Yeah.
kind of.
Wasn't a big thing in the Joker story that Thomas Wayne had done something to piss him off? or
Well,
something?
in this
Bruce Wayne's dad.
in the trailer, you can see Thomas Wayne do a TV interview, and he's talking about the Joker character doing something like he had just done something that caused mass panic.
Right.
So he says something negative about him. So I think that causes him to target the Waynes, which would then lead to that scene where he's by like a big mansion compound and he sees this boy by a fence and he puts the smile. So that's
Right.
what makes everyone think
That could
it's
be Bruce
possibly
Wayne,
Bruce.
because he's by like the mansion where his family lives.
Yeah.
Bruce
possibly.
Manor,
Yeah.
Bruce Manor, yeah, or Wayne Manor.
Wayne
yeah.
Manor, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
It can go either way. I'm so
Right.
excited to see what the Joker
Oh yeah, dude,
becomes.
it's gonna be such a good movie.
It's gonna be a
I know
great
it.
movie,
You
and
know it.
I know a lot of people don't know is that the Joker is actually pretty goddamn obsessed with Batman himself.
Yeah.
So it would stand to reason that he's obsessed with the Waynes at first, and then moves his obsession to
The
Batman
Heath
himself.
Ledger Joker even says,
You complete me.
You complete me.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what's funny too in that talking about the origins wise, the Heath Ledger one. You notice how he always changes the story on how he got the scars. He's
Yeah,
always asked
exactly.
how I got them, and he changed each time he'd bring something else
random.
up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That-
it's random. So
yeah.
everyone's like, "Well, how did that happen? To what happened? No one really knows."
No one knows, and it's the same thing because I think Heath Ledger got his inspiration from the Killing Joke comic
Yeah.
book. Like the dude went through super method acting where he isolated himself.
became the Joker.
He became the Joker
Yeah.
to fit that role, and it's very unfortunate what
R.I.P..
happened.
Yeah.
R.I.P. But continuing on with DC. I actually found a little news article that just came out about a potential new movie for DC. It is going to be called The New Gods, and it's actually going to be written by a famous comic book writer right now by the name of Tom King. He writes for DC, particularly. He writes some Batman comics as well as Mr. Miracle, who is a part of the New Gods. And Foo, do you know who the New Gods are, or does that sound familiar to you at all?
No.
So the New Gods are none other than pretty much like the celestial beings, which you may be familiar with the name of Darkseid.
Yeah.
So it pretty much, it's a movie that's going to be showing the origins of New Genesis, which are supposed to be like a new utopia, and like they have super like abilities and like a super advanced human race.
Yeah.
But they primarily conflict with Apocalypse, which is the land that Darkseid holds, which is nothing but wasteland. It's almost like a volcanic planet where he has nothing but slaves, and it's dark. And so like there's a funny little story behind these two. Like they constantly are at war, and in order for them to stop their war, they trade sons. So the father, the High Father, which is his name of New Genesis, he gives up his son by the name of Scott Free to Darkseid, and then Darkseid gives his son by the name of Orion to High Father of New Genesis.
So this is like, in a way, it's kind of linking back to, even though people are saying it bombed and it doesn't matter, like they just cut it off and say, okay, they're done with it. DC's done with it. Like the Justice League, like the first one, or the Batman
yeah.
vs Superman.
Yeah.
When Batman has the nightmare thing, which was a really cool scene.
Yeah, where you see all the parademons
Yeah,
and
when
stuff
he
like that.
when he goes out and he sees the wasteland, you see that Darkseid symbol out in the desert.
Exactly, yeah.
And you see like this nuclear bomb going off way off in the distance somewhere, or an explosion. Looks like a nuclear bomb went off.
Uh-huh.
And you see the Darkseid symbol, and I think they're kind of
the Omega,
they're
right?
still hinting back to that because they want to connect that still. I think just like Justice League was leading up to Darkseid.
Yeah, and that's a huge part. Like the Darkseid is a huge part of the Justice League and DC universe because this motherfucker is always his whole goal is to search for something called the anti-life equation.
Yeah.
And what that does, it enslaves everyone in the universe to his power, and he has full dominance, and he can destroy the universe. And so I really am excited to see what they do with this movie, especially that they actually have a real comic book writer on that's writing the script on that. Because, I mean, I think it'll be more true to form. But, going back to Scott Free, he becomes the character known as Mr. Miracle, who becomes like a professional escape artist. And the reason why is because immediately after doing the trade, Darkseid throws him in a dungeon and tortures him, starting at the age of 8. And he never lets him out. He's constantly torturing him every day just for being the son of the other guy, the High Father. Right. Conversely, or on the other side, High Father treats Orion like lovingly as a son and stuff.
I don't know, man. It doesn't sound... I don't know, man.
What are your reservations, Foo?
Yeah.
They shouldn't start bringing out the C-list guys until they establish a good fucking universe. That's my opinion.
I can understand that.
I mean, this is a good way to start a universe, though, because you're not focusing on the big names like Superman. Look at Shazam.
These are all the antagonists.
Look at what happened with Shazam. Shazam's a C-list character.
No, he's been mainstream.
No, but he's a C-list character if you really think about it.
I'll have to disagree on
Have you guys seen that movie, by the way?
Yeah, we've seen it.
Yeah, good movie.
I didn't even know who that guy was.
Yeah, see, so for comic book readers, people know who Shazam is, but for everyday people...
unless you remember the TV series in the 70s.
Well, that's why. Well, you just proved my point. No one knows who these gods are, so...
But it's the same thing. But like I'm saying, it's the same. Everyone knows who Darkseid is, at least. Because there's been more Darkseid, so that's what you're going to be focusing more on in this movie.
I think it's a big leap to establish that universe first. Fuck, I don't know.
But it's no release date.
Off,
not. There's no set release date right now.
I think what needs to happen, we all need to come to terms that DC is not going to be as neatly packaged as Marvel was.
No,
it's going to be scattered. You put the dots together. I don't know. They might release a movie that'll tie everything together. Who knows?
They said that too, that right now they're just going to start establishing their other properties because they can't compete with Marvel in aspect of creating a full universe.
They can't keep up.
I think this is their shot now that the Avengers is done.
No, I don't think they should because Marvel still has a lot of properties.
Do you think
sequels.
Do you think they can continue?
They can keep going.
Not just continue, but I mean be successful at it too.
Oh yeah, because dude, you still have another Black Panther sequel that's coming out.
Spider-Man.
Another Guardians of the Galaxy coming out.
Spider-Man.
Another Doctor Strange coming out.
One of the best movies.
Another Captain Marvel coming out.
Yeah.
And we've only gone to 4 movies so far, and we still have another Ant-Man. Like, they have other characters that have already been established.
Yeah.
And they still have new guys that they're going to be throwing in as we move along. So
yeah, they're even doing a Black Widow prequel, too.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's like, now they can even go back to prequels and origin stuff.
Yeah, they can do missing time periods.
It seems like when we had the Aquaman and all that stuff, it seems almost like DC was trying to play catch up. But I don't think they need to try to catch up Marvel. That's gone.
That was like
you can't catch up.
They have to give up that dream of catching up.
You have to just say we got to just start from ground zero and do our own thing. You have to. That's the only.
Or just do like in music, we were talking earlier, doing singles. They do
those
standalone origin story.
Yeah,
and it's really good.
Where DC really messed up, because Wonder Woman's another great movie too.
That's
coming
absolutely.
Out. That's Wonder Woman 84 is coming out.
That was a great movie.
It was really good.
Where they really messed up, and they missed so hard with Justice League when they had to switch directors. Because Justice League, if you think about it, it was a two-toned movie. You can tell which parts were directed by Zack Snyder and then which parts were reshot by Joss Whedon. Yeah. Because they're both completely different directors. Like, Joss Whedon's more on the light side. He likes to throw in a little comedy here and there. And Zack Snyder, he'll shit on you with dark tones all day.
Now Snyder fully did Batman vs Superman, right?
Yeah, and don't get me started.
But and it had that it had the same filter that 300 had.
To be fair, Man of Steel was actually pretty good. I actually liked Man of Steel.
It was a good origin story.
That really got me excited for what
quarrels with Man of Steel.
No, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you see Man of Steel, you don't hate it, but you don't like super love it.
You're not blown away.
You're not blown away by it.
I kind of like Batman vs Superman more than Man of Steel. I know.
Really?
Yeah, that's rare. I know. I kind of like.
So I've seen the extended cut.
Mark, that's cheesy. Dude.
Everybody brings that up. That's like
that's the worst.
I got PTSD for that word, Martha.
Do you remember the
so
last
bad.
scene in the first Avengers where they all just sitting there tired eating shawarma?
Oh, yeah.
That was us at the bar after watching Batman vs. Superman. We're like,
all of us with drinks in our hand, just like, really happened, huh?
Yeah.
Like my buddy texted me, he's like, "How was the movie?" And I immediately was just like, "I don't want to talk about it." And I talk about
that
Batman
bad?
stuff all day long.
That bad?
It was that bad.
at the time,
I kind of liked it. I feel weird. I liked it. Jeez.
I was distraught.
I was like, because even during the movie, there were parts where I was just kind of like, was squinting, like
The editing
why?
was sloppy. The editing was a little sloppy for my taste.
I feel like Justice League even like more so. It was like so much CGI.
Oh well,
Justice
yeah.
League.
Justice League was way
It was
too
like
much.
I think
a lot more. Like Batman vs Superman, it more stuff looked more real. But
So I recommend you watch the extended version. It's 3 hours, but it's actually pretty good.
It shows 30 more minutes of crucial scenes they cut.
Yeah,
Justice League?
Batman vs Superman.
Oh, okay.
Batman vs Superman. It's the extended cut. It shows 30 more minutes of.
it was like in Lex Luthor's place where they show how Batman broke in. And you see like the guys. They show like the video camera. Scene. Where
you actually
it records
see
Batman in there.
Yeah, exactly. You see that. You
When
see
he broke
him.
in.
You see him meet that one KG Beast guy, that Russian guy, where he finally does actually implant. Like you see a lot of scene building scenes that were
Right.
cut that should not have been cut. And
Yeah.
that was really because Warner Brothers didn't want it to be so long. They wanted to cut it down, which
for theater purposes.
For theater purposes,
Yeah.
So that's why Snyder created put out the Snyder cut, the 3 hour long.
You know,
one.
and it's funny in movies when they do that because actually I think there's a lot more people that would appreciate movies being long and actually showing the story.
If they can
I
tell
think
a
there's more
great
people that
story, I'll sit through it.
Yeah, exactly. Because Endgame, for example, Marvel Endgame, that's 3 hours, but I didn't feel like I was sitting there for 3 hours. Like, I was into it.
I had a pee once, so I
yeah.
felt the 3 hours.
But it didn't feel like if you're sitting, you're timing it, and you're waiting, it feels a lot longer than when you were watching that movie and you were into it. It goes by quick, man.
Yeah, and then you're upset because it's over, and you're like, I wanted more.
Yeah.
Like you don't want it to end, but oh man, yeah.
Speaking of movies, guys, I wanted to bring something else up. Are you guys familiar with Screen X films?
Screen
X.
Now, on the podcast, I've brought up 40X.
Okay, yeah. I
So
remember
the 40X, if you guys aren't familiar with
Here we
40X,
go.
is when you're in a theater and then the seats move. Like they'll move around. If like there's something splashing on the screen, you get like a little spray of water on you. Like it's like a full immersive kind of thing.
Are you sure it's water?
I don't know. I'm really
really.
just the bum in the front. just peeing on
What's the
everybody.
low grade? They have like
You're like, man, this is really intense. Oh no, it's some guy.
Oh, yeah.
Why is it yellow?
the low quality one is like there's a guy on the side of the bucket. He just
Yeah, it's
You see him in the front row splashing.
you see like waves. And he's like, oh quick.
It's so realistic.
Wow, it's
They're
like I'm in the movie.
Well-
Ted, get out of the frame.
Well, they're, Sony partnered up with Warner Brothers. They are doing this thing called Screen X, and what it is a 270-degree format.
What?
So not only are you watching the movie in front of you on the screen, but it'll the image will continue going to the sides of the walls.
Oh my god.
Bad.
Why not, man?
That's too much going on.
You'll miss stuff.
Yeah. That's
No,
a
but it's
terrible
all
idea.
scenery. It's all nothing important's happening there. It's just so that you're more like in the movie.
It's basically like what I'm seeing right now, and so if something's going on, I'll be able to look and see it.
You
That's what the
can,
peripherals-
but don't expect there to be. It's just so that you can have more of like an immersed experience in the movie that you're
Okay.
watching.
They
It's
still
mainly going to
focus
be
it in the
scenery.
middle.
Yes,
Okay.
the movie that they want you to see will be in your line of sight.
But they put a little extra on the.
Yeah, but the camera will keep going. Nothing important's really happening over
You'll
here.
just kind of catch little things
Just
on
so
your
it looks like you're
peripherals.
really there.
Yeah.
More. That's kind of cool.
The peripherals.
Sounds
will
like
be
it's going
there.
to cause a lot of headaches.
Well, I feel like they'll like in
problems and
movies,
stuff.
even movies that you're actually seeing, and they put Easter eggs in. We're like, oh, did you see that? Some directors
do it on the side.
Yeah,
that'd be
they'll
sick.
probably
Be
start
like,
putting
hey, did
shit
you
on
see
the
that
side.
part of that? And so, no, I didn't see it. Oh, you have to wait till the
Like
movie
Insidious.
comes out.
It's like extreme widescreen.
Yeah.
That's how you
Right,
got to
right.
think about it.
Now, unfortunately, in the U.S., there's only 21 auditoriums with this capability, and throughout the world, though, there's like 193. So across 18 other countries.
Oh, okay.
And the first movie that they're actually going to do this with is the new Spider-Man movie coming out. So the scenery in he's not in New York. He's going to be across the pond.
Yeah,
right?
he's gonna be. I think he goes to London. He goes to Venice, I believe. And
So you can imagine all the scenery that you're going to get in your peripheral.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty dope,
cool.
I think. But I don't know. The food doesn't seem to think so. It's
Well, the food's hard to impress.
It's a weird idea, dude. It's so weird.
you know, I'm sure the wheel was too back then.
The
Back
food
in-
isn't like fire.
Don't make it where like if you actually turn and look at the side, it's actually
Like
it's
some
blurry.
yeah.
Like when you go to movies and see 3D, use the 3D glasses. If you take them off, it's just blurry.
Yeah,
Maybe
instant
they'll make it
headache.
like that, just so in your side vision you know something's there. But they're like, no, focus on the
I don't
middle.
like 3D. I think it ruins the movie. I don't know.
I don't.
It
Get
has
anything
to
out of
be a
it.
specific type of movie. I think I'm not one to jump at the idea unless the reviews are really good for the 3D format.
It's kind of.
So
Did you ever see Avatar in 3D? I think that was supposed to be one.
it was
that you were
supposed to be like an event, a 3D event. So that's why I saw it in 3D.
Did it really do anything for you though?
It was really impressive as a 3D movie. They really spent the money to make it look really nice in 3D. But any other movie that is shot in 2D and then it's just kind of half-assed into a 3D movie,
Yeah.
It's like, come
it's
on.
just like, all right, that's just a cash grab.
Yeah.
and they did a lot of that when the 3D thing
First
was like
came out.
first
It's
came
so-
out.
yeah.
Well, then they
it was
then they
overkill.
actually had TVs that were 3D at one point. Didn't
and then they converted into 3D, kind of the same kind of half-assed way.
Frustrating.
So,
Yeah. I just don't. Yeah.
it's I mean, we've had 3D for a very long time, ever since the 50s. Where
Yeah.
they were using the blue and red
Yeah,
lenses.
yeah.
But it's just.
It's
overhyped.
It's a
way
novelty.
overhyped. Yeah.
It's a novelty. It's gimmick.
It has to be really well done, like Avatar
Yes.
did, and that's why Avatar was so successful in the box office, because they were charging the extra few bucks for the 3D.
Or Spy Kids 3D.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I know half of you assholes
Never
went to go
got
see
into
that.
that.
Never
No,
saw it.
sorry.
Jay, I bet
Like,
Jay saw it.
3D. Ooh, that was my movie.
That was your jam.
That was his schnit, yo.
Wasn't Sylvester Stallone in
Yeah.
that or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, he was. He had.
I
a
like
scene in
saw
that.
some preview and he was like the bad guy or
Cheech
something.
Marin in there too?
He was in the first.
Or am I thinking of Shark Boy and Aqua Girl? Or
No,
whatever the
that
fuck?
Danny Trejo was in that one. Wait, no, George Lopez was in that one. That
Okay.
Why
Shark
are we
Boy.
talking about
Yeah,
this?
I know, right?
Fair enough.
Fair
You got
enough.
these badasses in these shitty movies. Anyway.
yeah, Rambo and Spy Kid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was terrible. That was so bad. So I kind of want to leave off with one little cool little story I read today about something that's going on in DC Comics. It's actually a huge event that's called Doomsday Clock. I believe I talked about this months ago when I was caught up on the readings. Right now they're on issue 10 of 12. It's actually only a 12-issue run, and it's pretty much a crossover between the Watchmen and the entire DC universe.
Yeah.
And so it takes place immediately after 1986 when Dr. Manhattan disappears. And Dr. Manhattan actually disappears to the DC universe. And he sees everything from start to finish. So he sees the first Superman in 1938, but then he sees a change all of a sudden in 1986. And then he whenever we had these monumental changes like Infinite Crisis, I think it's Infinite Identity or Identity Crisis. He's seen every one of these, and he saw that they're actually it's not because it's a multiverse. How he calls it, let me see what it's called. It's called a metaverse because the Earth that Superman inhabits is actually Earth 0, and he never goes away. He just changes based off of what happened. It's like when something changes on his Earth, it causes a ripple effect for everything else. And so Dr. Manhattan sees this and he decides, okay, I'm going to see how much I can fuck with Superman's origin to cause him to break or to cause him to go bad. So that's why in like the New 52, both of Superman's parents were actually dead. He was a little darker, he had more anger in him. And then all of a sudden you saw right now the older Superman from like the 2000s is making an appearance again.
Is that related to the Brightburn that just came out?
No, Brightburn's
really.
supposed to be like, it's loosely related to Superman.
Okay.
It's written
That's
by
supposed to be
James
like
Gunn.
evil Superman, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like what if Superman were evil,
Okay.
or from the get-go.
Yeah.
So, but no, this is pretty much Watchmen taking over DC Universe.
Okay.
And so Dr. Manhattan is pretty much the guy that's fucked everything up. He's the reason why we've had the Flashpoint. He's the reason why, like, certain characters, you don't see certain characters that you used to in the 90s. You don't see them today because he fucked with time and he took away a lot of these characters.
So using that, what really happened to make his story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
so that's how they connected, because in the current Doomsday Clock, there's a new Rorschach. The Rorschach is moved over, has somehow moved to the DC Universe along with that one guy, Ozymandias.
Yeah.
The guy that was I don't know if you guys have ever seen Watchmen.
I've watched some of it. I haven't, like... originally Watchmen is it?
It's a comic book series by
Right.
Alan Moore. The comic book's way better than the movie, but I would say watch the movie
it's
just to kind of
serviceable,
get.
man. I think the movie was great.
It did
But
a
it's
good-
not
they
part
did a
of
decent
DC
job.
or Marvel, though.
It's
Watchmen.
actually Watchmen is actually a DC property.
Okay.
Yeah, it was originally a DC property, but it was meant
Kinda
to be
standalone, right?
Yeah, it was meant to be standalone. It was never meant to cross over. And just recently, last year, they decided, okay, you know what? Let's cross them over. And it actually started in Batman, where they found the comedian's button, which is the happy face
With the bullet hole.
with the bullet hole or with the blood splatter on it.
Well, even the Watchmen alluded to them being a part of DC in one of the flashbacks that they had in the intro, where some shit's going down, but in the background, there's a movie playing in the cinema, and then it showed the Mask of Zorro, which is the same movie
That Batman
that
scene.
Bruce Wayne as a little kid saw with his parents, and then his parents got shot in the alley.
Yeah.
So that's the same movie. I think that was a little bit of an Easter egg that they put in there for the viewer.
Yeah, I mean, it was a
kinda
little,
cool.
it was a slight little Easter egg alluding to that universe exists. And honestly, I would love to see them make a movie out of this. Unfortunately, it's years in the making, but this would be a great concept to see, even in an animation movie.
Yeah.
An animated movie would be great, because I recommend you guys watch some of these DC animated movies. They're way better than the live action.
Dude, actually,
ones.
it's funny. It's like, yeah, we play music and stuff, but I actually just came across. Well, I heard of it coming out. The Batman versus Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, I heard
actually
that
on
was pretty
YouTube,
good.
because I go on YouTube a good bit and watch like news and stuff, because I don't really watch TV news a lot.
Yeah.
But on there they had like clips from like Batman versus Shredder. I saw
I saw that
and
one.
then Batman versus the Turtles, and I was like, dude, it was actually the same. I think it's the same guy who voiced Batman in the animated series.
Oh,
it's the
sick.
same voice.
Yeah.
And they actually did, when they did him versus Shredder, they used the thing when Shredder came down real slow in the first.
Yeah.
They actually did that in that cartoon.
Sick.
And I was like, I happened across it somehow, and I was like, I gotta check this out.
It's available for purchase actually right now.
But it sounds like people are like, Batman vs Ninja Turtles, okay. No, but when you actually watch it, it was those clips I saw. I was like, that's pretty good. Like if you're interested in watching comic book stuff, it's pretty good.
Well, they're all ninjas too. Batman is a
right,
ninja, essentially.
Right.
Well, that actually stemmed from a comic book run where there was Batman and Ninja Turtles. Well, where exactly, like, Batman all of a sudden runs up on these Ninja Turtles and he thinks that they're metahumans, when in reality it's like, no, they're just radioactive turtles. And like in the comic, Ra's al Ghul teams up with Shredder, and like the Foot and the League of Assassins go after the Turtles and Batman. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I'll probably rent that this weekend and watch it. But
it's like a lot of us grew up like seeing the Batman animated series.
Yeah, and a lot of us have grown up with the Ninja Turtles too.
And so like when you see that, you're like, oh, I gotta check this out, just see what happens. And it was pretty cool how, I mean, the Batman Shredder one was like he was trying to get him with his grapple gun or something, and then Shredder turned around and fought him, and then the Turtles saw Batman's car. They're like, oh, whose car is that? They're like, oh, that's really cool. And then all of a sudden Batman comes down,
right on.
And they're like, I think that's the guy working with Shredder, and then Raph all of a sudden just goes at him, and then that pulls them all in and they all fight him. But it was pretty neat how they did that, and the animation was really good how they did it. I was surprised. I was surprised how they brought that together.
Dope. I'm excited. I'm excited to see that. Foo, do you have anything you want to throw at us? Actually, I wanted to say one last thing. E3 is actually coming out for any gamers.
Oh,
and
snap.
Tickets are actually on sale June 8th,
Jay.
where you can buy them online.
Jay's approaching the mic.
You know, he's part of this.
I don't know. I don't think E3 is that great, honestly.
Uh-oh.
Like from a friend who goes there at least like maybe like every year, every other year.
Uh-huh.
He says that when they did no sales, no ticket sales, when it was just like a private event, that's when it was really good.
Oh, because you get a lot of swag and stuff, right?
Yeah, once they started selling tickets, it went to shit.
Oh,
Too many people, you think?
Yeah, too many people.
That's what
It's
happened
way
with
too
Comic-Con.
packed.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, right now, the dates are June 11th through the 13th. Ticket prices are pretty outrageous. For a gamer badge, it's $249 for one. And, I mean, you can get some free stuff at the booths. You get to play some new games right off the bat. But for $249, I mean, LA Comic-Con was only, what, $80? If that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm actually tempted to pay this $249 just so I can see what's going on at E3.
Dude, not to go off topic too quick, but that guy, it totally reminds me. When I hear of E3, I think of that guy who says, "I'm Mark from Arby's," and he's like, "Oh, I don't know."
Oh, you
Have
guys know
seen
that
guy?
No.
He's getting like interviewed.
Onyx the Fortuitous?
Onyx Fortuitous or whatever.
Oh,
dude,
it's a big
so
Facebook
funny.
meme.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
He's like
check
at
it out.
E3 and he's getting interviewed, and it's
Oh my
it's
gosh.
hilarious.
Oh, sick.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, I
good.
gotta check that out.
Anyone
then.
listening to this, if they hopefully
If they know
someone
Onyx
know
the
what I'm talking
Fortuitous,
about.
they'll know exactly about it. Anyways.
Onyx the Fortuitous. All right. Well, the next badge up is the Industry Pro badge. It doesn't really say what's involved in this, but it's $695. I mean, shit, I better be getting some free consoles and other fucking shit for $695. A hat? Fuck a hat.
Stickers.
Give me like 5 games.
What does a hat do?
Yeah.
Better do
Like,
something.
dude, I literally haven't even been to Disneyland yet, so man, if I had that money, I'd be going there.
That's
probably.
right. That Star Wars
Star
Galaxy
Wars,
Edge kit just opened up this past weekend.
Yeah.
Or this
Not
upcoming
to veer
weekend.
you guys off from E3.
No, yeah. Everyone who was interested in E3, check out E3. But no, continuing on the Star Wars thing, Galaxy's Edge opened up May 31st. So I think the tickets
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow as of recording.
Sick.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I probably want to go do it. The ticket prices actually went down a little for SoCal, I think, for one park. I think it's
Our friend Brad, who records and produces us, I saw him put a post on Facebook. He was like, he actually went there and saw it, and he was just like, he put on his statuses, he just put, it's awesome.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, dude.
I've seen
wait.
videos. It's insane.
One of these days I'll get to go. One of these days I always lose track like on what passes are, like how much and all this.
The prices go up and down all the time. It's crazy. I'd probably have to not pay rent for 1 month to go to a Disneyland park nowadays. Well, Foo, I think we've geeked out enough.
Awesome, man. Thanks. Well, we'll be right back with the music highlights with 22 Salutes. Stick around.
Hey, everybody, I'm Josh.
And the Foo here tagging along.
Be sure to catch us on Foobar Sports.
Listen in now on Tuesdays.
Catch us on any major podcast app or our own website, FoobarShow.com. You can also find us on our Facebook group, Foobar Sports.
Join in on the conversation, sports talk, latest rumors, and sports news.
Boobity-doobity.
Experience Never Seen the World, the Fallen Electric's debut album, featuring the title track, Never Seen the World. Go to thefallenelectric.com for all news, show dates, and contact information.
Think twice, know that I have never seen the world. I've never seen the world.
Well, guys, at last, we are at the music highlights, and I wanted to feature a few of your guys' songs. Now, we'll get to the lucky ones, the new song that you guys just came out with, but I wanted to acquaint everybody who is not already acquainted with your guys' music to a couple of other ones that you wanted me to play for today. This one in particular, this first one's called Answer Me, came out back in 2017. Is there anything we should know about this one?
Answer Me was our first, this was our first, really... I mean, we've had some okay recordings, but this was our first really good one with Bradbury.
Uh-huh.
And
This was our first... Well, this
music
was the
video,
first
too.
one we wrote out here, too.
Yeah, it was the first... No, we wrote the rock band out here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did Rock Band. Then we did... Okay.
Yeah, so
Right,
Answer
right.
Me was the first
Our
one
second
that
one.
we got to that more of a top-notch recording, and it was also the first music video. So I think it was our first, big single. Oh, no, Shadow Girl probably was. This was probably the next second.
That was
big
back.
single.
Regardless,
Yeah,
they're all good. So everybody
Yeah.
check out their catalog.
Yeah.
Well, let's listen to Answer Me.
Yeah.
Can overcome all of the debt of my soul, and now I've met the same old pain that comes again. Answer me. Answer me. Answer me. Answer me. Please give me rest. I tried my best, but who could go on? And I'm on my knees praying, God, fix this mess. Release your tears, for it's much too strong. Yeah. Why can't I live my life just as I did? In the world just as a kid, naive of my innocence. But no hope, no God, no way out of this place. And for this place I cannot stay. Will someone help me find my way? Answer me. Answer me. Answer me. Answer me. Please give me rest. I tried my best, but who could go
Freaking banger.
God damn.
Damn.
That one has balls, man.
Thanks.
That one has balls. That one's great to watch live. I remember seeing that song a few times live, and my God, the energy that goes into that one is amazing.
Thank you.
You guys, you guys switch instruments at some point?
Yeah, halfway through the show.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool to watch too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you guys just taking leads on any instrument, except for the drums, of course. That's all.
Yeah.
No one can take my instrument.
Well, eventually we'll all be rotating.
Yeah. Jay will be.
I'll be singer one day.
Then it will be like no one knows who's who.
It's like he's Ringo.
Who's the singer? Who's the drummer? Who's the guitar player?
Who knows? Yeah. Cool. Well, this next one that we have up on the list here is Nobody. This one came out last year, 2018. Anything we should know about this?
It's fun, and it's a good music video. It's a great one. It's our last one, and also it's about people just being stuck in their head in social situations.
Right on.
So yeah,
let's check it out. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So sweet.
Dude, that's just, it's freaking amazing.
Hey, thanks, man.
So this new one, man, this is my new favorite one by you guys, The Lucky Ones. That just came out this year, 2019. It's a single, The Lucky Ones. It's kind of dark.
It's very dark. Morbid.
Yeah.
Emo.
But here goes, man. Everybody check out The Lucky Ones.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the weight of the world today. It's not my problem, it's not my pain, but I strain. Got my own, got my situation. I've been naming every demon I've been facing till this day. Till this day. I can't believe it, I feel I'm grieving and I can't even make a glance at a world that's burning, and I've been learning that these kids don't even have a chance. They say the good die young, but I say that the dead are the lucky ones. They say you could be wrong. I admit that the dead are the lucky ones. The lucky ones. The lucky ones. The lucky ones. Held to this and I cling to that. I put my hope in things I like and they fade away. And hearts are turning, I do know this. Corruption hides in a high-held fist, let it go. They don't know. I can't ignore it, I came before it, and it's just not who I am. And it's worth the fight to do this right, but these kids don't even give a damn. They say the good die young, but I say that the dead are the lucky ones. They say you could be wrong. I admit that the dead are the lucky ones. The lucky ones. The lucky ones. The lucky ones. I can't believe it. You can't unsee this. We do not need this. With no place to run. They say the good die young, but I say that the dead are the lucky ones. They say you could be wrong. I admit that the dead are the lucky ones. The lucky ones. The lucky ones. The lucky ones.
Yeah.
God damn. Dude, Jay, you were just matching the beat for beat over here on the
Dude,
side.
yeah. I wrote that one. So.
Oh, man. That was
That's
great.
the first one he's been in the studio with us for. That's
Yeah.
Oh, man.
is
The drums
That's
on
why
that
it's
was
a
amazing.
lot of bass drum.
Yeah, that's
And
what
the
I
great-
could, I could
I'm
tell.
all right foot with that do 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 do. Just straight
So,
all right.
so do you loosen up the
Tension?
pedal? Yeah.
It's like mid.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's not too tight, not too loose, but it's mid.
So
Okay.
you got the Bonham thing going on where you just bounce it off.
Oh yeah, pretty much. But this song just kills my leg.
You did it to yourself, man.
We did that when we were at practice, when we were before we recorded this, when we were like working on the song, practicing, going over and over. He's like, we're like, we'll take a break. He's like, man, my legs are tired.
Make sure you do your leg day, man. Don't skip leg day.
Don't skip it, man. And it's a great use of stereo in all these songs that we just heard today.
Thanks to Brad Barry.
It's so awesome, especially when you hear the toms go from one side of your head to the other. It's so great. But hey, man, thanks for sharing all that. This has been awesome.
Thanks for letting us on. And
glad to finally have you guys on.
Yeah.
And very happy to introduce this music to a lot of people who may not have heard you guys.
Absolutely.
And,
For sure.
Very immersive. You guys, your music is very immersive. You just get sucked in and
Thank you, man.
just can't get out of it.
Thanks,
Great.
man.
Takes me
you.
back to that first time I saw you guys at Chain
Chain
Reaction.
Reaction.
When it all started.
Back in the gold days.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks again for being on. Tell everybody, what we can look forward to. Give a plug to your website, all that good stuff.
Just go on. Everything's 22 Salute. I always say this: the word 20, the number 2, then the word salute. Instagram and Facebook and just iTunes and Google Play and Spotify. Check us out. We have shows that are going to be popping up here in a bit locally in California. Got the big Iowa show, and stay tuned. We got just tons of stuff coming up, and we're going to keep pushing, keep fighting, and keep the music alive, man.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, hopefully we can have you guys in again in your next single release.
Hey, that'd be sick.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be doing something even more, and that'd be great, man.
Yeah, we'd love to have you back, man.
Definitely.
Even if it's just for that one song, or maybe even a few others. Who knows?
We'll see what happens.
Well, Mike, Mark, and Jay, thanks for being on once again, and you're always welcome back.
Thank you, Foo Bar Show. Thank you, guys.
Good vibes, man. Good vibes. Well, thank you all very much for listening into the Foo Bar Show. Thank you for downloading the pod on most major podcast apps, subscribing, and telling a friend like a champ. You can always reach us at Foo Bar Show. That's FTheBelowBarShow.com. And F The Below Bar Show is our handle on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram. Check us out. Drop us a line, and we'll fill it up like a couple of Foos. I've been Josie.
I've been Josh.
And for the boys in 22 Salute, signing off, saying, don't be a dick.